the next roster update, and MLB The Show 21 could be the biggest one we've gotten all year long. Let's talk about what's going on. In case you missed it, if you've been expecting a roster update this Friday, do know that SDS has come out and they've said that July 30th, the Friday after this one, will be the next roster update. Now, why might this one be one of the biggest ones we've seen all year? Well, traditionally in years past, after the All-Star break, relatively quickly, we get some fielding updates for player cards in MLB The Show 21. If you've noticed this entire year with roster updates, the only attributes affected are their hitting attributes. We never have them any fielding attributes, but usually about one time a year, we do get those fielding attributes to come through. Could the 30th, this upcoming, the Friday after this next one, be the one that we finally get those fielding upgrades? I think it's certainly possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at kind of some preliminary guys that I'm looking at getting upgraded here in this upcoming roster update, as well as some discussions about some guys that I'm not looking at that may be really popular right now. Some golds to diamonds, some silvers to golds. Let's hop into it. First guy we're looking at here is BICHETTE, shortstop for the Blue Jays. Looking at his card, of course, we got to talk about that room to grow. If you want to know how I kind of figure out what guys I'm looking at for the roster update, be sure to click this link up at the top of your video right now. That's where I go in and break down and how I actually identify players. But BICHETTE here, you can see the plus 14 to contact and power right gets him up to an 86, so even more than he needs to become a diamond. But he's been playing really well recently, and obviously that room to grow area is his contact and power versus right. He's hitting over 300 versus righties since the month of June. A really firm contact bump to get up there closer to where he is versus lefties could end up being enough to get him up to diamond. At worst, it probably gets him up to like an 84 range. Maybe he gets a slight power bump versus righties as well. He does have 12 homers on the season versus right-handed pitchers, so we could be due for a power upgrade versus righties, a contact upgrade versus righties. You come in, you look at his price, 2,400 stubs on the sell now. So in terms of investability, a lot of room to work with there on BICHETTE. I really like how Bo's been playing. He's been hot recently, ever since the month of June, been playing incredibly well. If he keeps that up, he's certainly going to be due for some upgrades. Really strong Blue Jays lineup. They're going to be moving back to Toronto. Maybe they get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe they heat up as a team there. That offense gets hot. BICHETTE, a key part of that. I think he has a really strong potential for an upgrade. Next guy we're looking at here in our gold to diamonds, none other than our home run derby champion, Pete Alonso. Now, of course, him winning the home run derby has zero impact on his live series card. We look at his actual marketplace trend, you can tell which day the home run derby was. It doesn't actually impact his live series card by any fashion that he won the home run derby. I don't know what was going on there, but he's playing incredible IRL. Currently, over the season, he has a career high batting average. In the month of June, he hit 298, almost 300. You look at a room to grow area, 65 contact right, 53 contact left. He's batting 300 almost over the course of a month. That is certainly some numbers that can trend upwards. Currently, since returning from the All-Star break as well, he's kept that hot streak alive that he had during the home run derby. He's on a 5-game hit streak right now since returning from the break. The last 3 of those games have all been multi-hit games as well. So he is hitting the ball for average right now, along with power. He already has 6 homers in the month of July, even including that break in just a handful of games. So his power's still there. His contact has increased. He's been a diamond before in the past. He has the precedent of being one. He needs that contact upgrade to get there. He is certainly well due for a contact upgrade to both righties and lefties. 83 overall right now. I think he has a really firm shot at getting a +2. We go ahead. We look at his price. 1,600 stubs on the sell now. That is a lot of room for growth right there for Pete Alonso. I love what I see with him. I think he has a lot of potential to trend upwards. Even if he's not getting that overall upgrade, he keeps playing how he's playing, he's going to be getting the hype around him, and he's going to be a 4,000 or 5,000 stub live series gold on the market. The next guy we're looking at here is RAFAEL. He has been crushing the ball this year, playing really well offensively. He's been one of the best third basemen in the league so far. Right now, he's just an 81. He needs quite a bit to get up to a diamond, but we saw the last roster update, Joey Gallo also went from an 81 all the way up to a diamond. I think offensively, his numbers are somewhat fair. He hasn't been destroying lefties this year, so I think his attributes versus lefties on his live series cards are relatively fair, and he hits righties really, really well. What we need, though, on Devers is a fielding upgrade. 55 fielding, 71 arm, 40 acceleration, 58 reaction. He has been playing like a much better defender than that. He's improved defensively drastically over the past couple seasons, and I don't think his live series rating reflects that. He's definitely not one of the absolute worst, a liability at third base. I think he is very, very average at third base, but you combine that with his elite offensive prowess, and I think he's well deserving of an upgrade. So if we do get that big time defensive rating upgrade in this next roster update, I think Devers is a guy that is primed to take advantage of that. You know, plus 15 to his fielding could make a huge difference, paired with a little bit of contact and power changes, and all of a sudden a +4 overall is not out of the reach in the slightest. You look at a location, 1,000 subs right now. He's right at quick sell, risk-free. You can't lose anything. He's certainly not being downgraded to a silver. So at 1,000 subs at quick sell, very risk-free, cannot lose any stubs if you're looking for a super safe investment and banking on that defensive attribute upgrade. Another guy I want to really quickly mention on, we talked about him in our last roster update video. He was a silver at that time, Ryan Pressly. He's returned from the break, been just as dominant as he was beforehand, has still not given up a run since May 29th. Of course, ERA doesn't directly impact somebody's per nines and their ability to be upgraded and downgraded, but Ryan Pressly is on a tear right now. I don't necessarily think he's getting to diamond in this update, but as long as he continues to pitch and give up no runs, he's closing in on 2 months of earned run free baseball. He's going to be due for some upgrades. You look at the location, couldn't be more at quick sell. He's certainly not going down. Very risk-free, bit of a long-term play for some of those that like that. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about some goals that I don't see getting upgraded. First, Jared Walsh, 30 contact versus lefties, and he's not been playing all that great, especially since the All-Star break. Overall, in the month of July, hasn't been that great. So for me, I don't see an ability to get an upgrade with how he's currently playing. Hasn't been hot since the break. We really need to see something in the second half from him, especially versus lefties. So for me, Walsh is a pass. He's around 2K Stubs, so there's still some hype around him, but it's not one for me. Next one we're looking at, Freddie Peralta. He is super popular right now, 4,200 on the buy now. Another guy I don't see. His walks per nine in the month of July are actually higher than where he's at over the rest of the season. His walks per nine is at a career high, and if he's getting an upgrade, it's with his walks per nine. His hits per nine, Ks per nine are really good. He's been pitching very effectively in spite of how many people he's walking, which is a testament to how well he's been at limiting hits and striking out batters. If he's going to diamond, it comes from a walks per nine upgrade, and I don't see a walks per nine upgrade. So if he's walked 7 batters in 11 innings in the month of July so far, so I just don't see it for Freddie this update. Another super popular one, Teoscar Hernandez. I like Teoscar. He could certainly get it. He doesn't need much to be there, but for me, there's nothing that jumps off the page for him that is upgradable. Obviously, he has the poor defense. Tough to become a diamond with those poor defenses. We've seen it happen before. Guys like Castellanos have reached that tier. Obviously, he needs that boost versus righties. He's playing good versus righties, but he's not playing just out of this world. And a 75 contact, 69 power, pretty decent as it is. I think he's got a shot. I wouldn't be surprised if Teoscar becomes a diamond, but at 3,100 subs on a sell now, I would certainly not be investing in him personally. Again, that's just me. I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. But for me, I don't see Teoscar. One of the other super popular guys for this roster update, Giovanni Gallegos. He just hasn't been good in the month of July so far. Since the last roster update, he hasn't been performing very well. Hasn't been performing well since the All-Star break. He's given up a handful of runs and not that many innings pitched. He can certainly very quickly and easily turn that back around, put together a couple hot weeks, and be perfectly fine. We saw that happen with Matt Barnes, who had a slightly rough stretch, turned it right back around, went diamond. Gallegos is in that bit of a rough stretch right now. We need to see him turn it back around, get a couple of hot weeks together. He could get up there, but for right now, I'm not seeing it happen on Giovanni Gallegos. Now, let's look at a couple silver to golds. These are definitely a lot more harder to identify right now, especially as the season goes on. We kind of figure out where players are, and we don't have a huge sample size since the All-Star break. But I want to give you all a couple of names here on the silver to gold. Willy Adames has been a different player since joining the Brewers, just straight up. He's already got 4 homers in the month of July, and he's hitting .368. He's just straight up crushing the ball this month, playing really well, getting out of the Trop. He can finally see the ball. He said that that was a major issue for him at Tropicana. He just couldn't see the ball. He's clearly seeing the ball in Milwaukee, crushing it right now. Been a big part of that team so far since they've acquired him. His offensive numbers are really bad as well. So his contact right, left, even power right and left, all definitely deserving of an upgrade. You look at his price wise, $285 on the sell now. Really cheap pickup right here. And he's been crushing it, playing hot, due for some form of upgrade. 75, so a bit to go to get to gold, but even if he starts to get some of that hype, you're going to see that price increase. You can cash out on that. Next one we're looking at here, 78 overall, Brandon Lowe. He was actually a gold earlier on this season and then was just downright awful at that point. Got downgraded to a silver, but over the last 30 days, he has arguably been the best hitter in baseball. Currently rocking an 1,100 plus OPS in the month of July. And if we look about where can he get upgraded, he's a 78, so he doesn't need much. We're not needing too big of an upgrade. He's got 27 contact versus lefties, but we come in here, we take a look at his splits. He's batting 144 versus lefties on the season. That's not great. That's probably right in line, deserving of a 27. But when we break it down a little bit, we look at it over the last 30-ish days or so since June 1st. He's batting 233 versus lefties. That's closer to the league average versus lefties. We know that a league average attribute is a 60, so he's hitting just close to league average over the last 45 days or so versus left-handed hitters. His rating is just a 27, which that's a testament to how bad he had been hitting before that. But Brandon Lowe, he's got a bit of a track record as a pretty solid player as well. I think how he's playing now, obviously very hot, but more in line with who we expect him to be. I definitely think he's due for some offensive upgrades. He can even get a boost to his power numbers. Definitely need it in the contact. 78 overall, so not needing much there. I really like Brandon Lowe. He's one of my favorite investments this week. Another reason why, 160 sell now on the market. That is a steal right there. A ton of profit to be made. Big fan of Brandon Lowe. Looking forward into this next update. Last guy we're looking at in today's roster update is Paul Goldschmidt, first baseman for the Cardinals. We all know Paulie. He's got a track record of being a highly rated player in MLB The Show. He's been diamond plenty of time. He's been 90 plus diamond before. He's had a rough stretch of the year so far. Hasn't been playing his best baseball, but so far, month of July, he's batting .375. Paul Goldschmidt, kind of similar to the Ozzie Albies situation earlier in the year where he had just been getting incredibly unlucky. His batting average on balls in play was really low, even though he was hitting the ball relatively well. There's still some worrying signs for Goldschmidt, but he may not be back to where he was at one point, but certainly at a 79 overall. He's batting .375 this month. He's starting to slowly turn around a little bit. I think he can easily get a slight bump here to get up to the gold tier. This one is probably one of the safer ones that we're talking about today. His price does reflect that 606 on the sell now. So a bit of a safer bet. Obviously, a little bit more stubs you got to put up front on that. But Goldschmidt crushing the ball right now. Really strong track record and a precedent there. Very easily gets back up to gold in my opinion. So those are the players we're looking at for this upcoming roster update. We'll probably have another video breaking it down next week with some more detail as we get some more information on some of these guys that are playing right now. But let me know down in the comment section what you think. Who do you think's getting upgraded? Who do you think's maybe getting downgraded? Favorite part of these videos, again, to chat with y'all in the comment section about who I may be overlooking, who I'm underrating, who I'm overrating. Of course, I don't keep up with every single player. I do my best. I try to be as researched and informed as possible for these, but I'm not perfect. I don't see them all. Y'all hit me up down in the comment section with who y'all think is getting moved in this next week. Until next time, though, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe on the video if y'all want to see more of these 500 or so subs away from 20K. Let's make it happen. I believe in y'all. Until next time, I'll catch y'all around.